Have you ever stopped to consider the nature of good and evil? It's a question that has intrigued philosophers, theologians, and thinkers alike since the dawn of time. Good and evil. These two opposing forces that weave themselves into the fabric of our existence, shaping our actions, our decisions, our very lives. But what are they, really? How do we define good and evil? Some say good is selflessness, kindness, compassion, the act of putting others before oneself. It's the light that guides us through the darkest of times, the beacon of hope that ignites our spirits, the very essence of love and benevolence. On the other hand, evil is often seen as selfishness, cruelty, the absence of empathy. It's the darkness that lurks in the corners of our souls, the shadow that threatens to consume us, the embodiment of hate and malevolence. Yet, these definitions vary greatly across different cultures and philosophies. In some philosophies, good and evil are seen not as separate entities but as two sides of the same coin. They exist in a delicate balance, each one needing the other to exist. In others, good and evil are seen as absolute, with no room for gray areas. These perspectives shape our understanding of good and evil, and in turn, influence our behavior. They form the moral compass that guides us through life, helping us discern right from wrong, guiding our actions and shaping our character. But it's important to remember that these are merely interpretations, shaped by our own experiences, beliefs, and perspectives. Good and evil are not concrete, tangible things. They are constructs, ideas that we as humans have created to make sense of the world around us. And as we delve deeper into this exploration, we begin to realize that the nature of good and evil is not as clear-cut as it first appears. It's a complex, multifaceted concept that requires us to look beyond the surface, to question our own beliefs, and to seek understanding. Understanding the nature of good and evil leads us to a deeper exploration of their presence in our world. Now let's delve into instances where goodness shines in the world. There's a remarkable story of a man named John, a New Yorker who every winter hands out warm coats to the homeless. He doesn't do it for recognition or praise, but because he believes that no one should have to face the chilling winds without protection. John's act of kindness is a beacon of good, a testament to the power of empathy and compassion. Then there's the tale of Rosa, a teacher in a small town in Texas. She noticed that one of her students came to school hungry every day. So she started packing an extra lunch, not just for that one student, but for anyone who needed it. Her selfless act, small as it might seem, made a world of difference to those children. It was an act of good that rippled through the community, inspiring others to pitch in and help. Now, let's consider the countless volunteers who dedicate their time and energy to causes close to their hearts. These people, from all walks of life, take time out of their busy schedules to make the world a better place. They may be helping at a local food bank, cleaning up a neighborhood park, or spending time with the elderly. These acts of good shine like stars in the night sky, illuminating the inherent goodness that exists within us all. Consider the healthcare workers who put their lives on the line during the pandemic, working tirelessly to save others. Their dedication, their sacrifice, their unwavering commitment to their patients, it's a monumental testament to the power of good. It's crucial to remember that every act of kindness, compassion, and selflessness contributes to the overall goodness in the world. Even the tiniest gesture can create a ripple effect, touching lives in ways we can't even begin to imagine. So, while it may sometimes feel like there's more evil in the world than good, it's important to remember these instances of good. They provide a counterpoint to the darkness, a reminder that, even in the face of adversity, there is always a glimmer of light. These instances of good, however small, remind us that goodness exists even in the darkest of times. On the flip side, we also encounter instances of evil in the world. In our daily lives, we often come across events and behaviors that exemplify cruelty, greed, and malice. These acts of evil are not confined to the pages of a novel or the scenes of a horror movie. They are very real and occur in various forms across the globe. Take cruelty, for instance. It's an act that's fueled by the desire to inflict suffering on others. It can manifest in many ways, from the physical and emotional abuse that some individuals endure in their homes, to the violence and terror propagated by extremist groups. These acts not only cause immense pain and trauma to the victims, but also create a climate of fear and despair. Then there's greed, a deep-rooted desire for more power, more wealth, more control. It's the driving force behind corruption, economic inequality, and the exploitation of resources. Greed can lead to acts that harm entire communities and even nations. It can strip people of their rights, create social unrest and result in the destruction of our environment. And let's not forget malice, the deliberate intent to harm others, often for personal gain or satisfaction. Malice is behind acts of betrayal, deception, and manipulation. It erodes trust, fractures relationships, and can lead to conflict and division within communities. These acts of evil have a profound impact on society and individuals. They generate fear, mistrust, and resentment. They disrupt harmony and create divisions. What's more, these instances of evil often seem to overshadow the good. They dominate our news feeds, influence our perceptions, and make us question the inherent nature of humanity. But why is this so? Why do instances of evil seem to have such a strong grip on our collective consciousness? Is it because they are more prevalent? Or is it because they are simply more noticeable, more shocking, and hence more memorable? These instances of evil, unfortunately, often cast a large shadow over the good, leading us to question if there is more evil than good. The question remains, is there more evil than good in the world? As we delve deeper into this conundrum, it's important to acknowledge that the perception of evil often outweighs the reality of good. This seeming imbalance isn't necessarily a reflection of the world's inherent nature, but rather a product of several influencing factors. Firstly, let's consider the role of the media. News outlets and social platforms often focus on negative events, giving them more airtime than positive ones. This isn't because good doesn't exist, rather it's because negative news tends to grab more attention, and in the world of 24/7 news cycles, attention equals ratings. Beyond the media, human psychology also plays a significant role. It's well documented that negative experiences tend to stick with us longer than positive ones. This is often referred to as negativity bias. We remember the pain of a stubbed toe more vividly than the pleasure of a warm bath. Similarly, instances of evil and harm in the world can leave a more lasting impression than acts of kindness and good. Societal structures too contribute to this perceived imbalance. Power dynamics and systemic issues often allow for evil to be more visible and impactful than good. The actions of a single corrupt leader, for example, can overshadow the collective good of many honest citizens. However, it's important to note that the prevalence of evil doesn't negate the existence of good. Every day, countless acts of kindness, generosity, and love occur around the world, often going unnoticed. They may not make headlines, but they are just as real and significant as the instances of evil. So while it might be easy to fall into the trap of believing that evil is more prevalent, remember that our perception is not always reality. It's influenced by a variety of factors, from the media we consume to our own cognitive biases. While it may seem that evil is more prevalent, it's crucial to remember that our perception is often influenced by numerous factors. In the end, the balance between good and evil is a complex issue. An issue that we've dissected, discussed, and delved into over the course of this video. We've journeyed through the nature of good and evil, explored instances of both in the world, and contemplated the delicate balance that exists between the two. We've seen that good is not absent from our world. It's there in every act of kindness, in every gesture of compassion, in every moment of self-sacrifice. It's there when people stand up for what's right, when they lend a hand to those in need, when they spread love and positivity. Yet it's easy to overlook these instances of good, to allow them to be overshadowed by the more glaring instances of evil. But evil too is a part of our world. It's there in acts of violence, in displays of hatred, in moments of cruelty. It's there when people choose to harm rather than help, to hate rather than love, to tear down rather than build up. It's there in the injustices that pervade our society, in the suffering that afflicts so many. Yet the existence of evil does not negate the presence of good. Rather, it emphasizes the importance of the good, of the need for each one of us to contribute to the good in our own ways, for it's in the face of evil that the power of good shines brightest. The balance between good and evil is indeed complex, but it's not immutable. It's not beyond our control. Each one of us has the power to tip the scales, to make a difference, to contribute to the good in the world. It's not about grand gestures or monumental acts. It's about the little things, the everyday acts of kindness that, when added together, can make a big difference. While it may seem that evil overshadows good, each one of us has the power to tip the scale towards good. Always remember, every act of kindness counts.